Hi, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes, we are excited. Pajama party. We were off last week.
Yep. And we were talking a bit before we went live tonight about what we all did last week. So Anne had a house full. Want to talk about that a little bit?
I did. I had 4 of my 5 children here because John is in South Korea, and their spouses and all of my grandkids. So and my son's in-laws because they only have one daughter. So I just told them to come. So it was a house full and it was wonderful. And we did Thanksgiving at 1 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock we did Christmas. I mean, the kids kept saying, "What time does Christmas start?"
That's quite the day filled with a lot of activities and cool things because I don't know, I think you said you had 25, 26, 27 people.
We had 29.
29.
Yep. Would have been 30 if John would have been here, but yeah.
Wow.
So
Well,
that's
that's awesome. And if I remember correctly, you were telling us about each year Anne does special gifts. Now, last time we were on before Thanksgiving, you were sharing the ornaments that you made, but you also do PJs. So you sublimated the tops, right?
I did. I used to make all the pajamas, but last year I started doing them for the adults too because I used to just do them for the grandkids. So when I added the adults in, I started buying pajama bottoms and tops and sublimating or doing vinyl on them. So the last 2 years I've sublimated the shirts. I designed something. In the design I did this year, my husband said it'd be cool if it said all roads lead home for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with a design, and I found a truck he liked with a tree, and I had Christmas written out in such beautiful font. And he said, maybe if you don't put for Christmas. So it said all roads lead home.
Oh.
I had a snowy background and a truck with a tree, and I mean, he was right. I mean, it doesn't have to be just for Christmas. That way the kids can wear them until, all winter.
Right.
Yeah. So they turned out great, although I did a no-no. When you sublimate, you're supposed to sublimate on polyester. And I have sublimated on cotton before, and I've used the spray. So it adheres and it's bright. I thought, the kids wear these one season. I'm not going to spray them. I sublimated directly on the cotton, which it works. It's just the more you wash it, it begins to fade and look more vintage. And I thought, that's okay. I don't even care.
Yeah, that's
so.
Yeah, how cool.
Yeah. They were all happy. And I did have one of my grandsons, 3 years old, and he opened up, because they all open at the same time because it's the same gift. And he was so excited, and he was laughing and giggling, and he came and he ran up to me. And I'm thinking, they're just pajamas, But it was so sweet. And my husband actually captured that.
Oh.
So yeah.
Maybe you can share that next week. I don't know if you can, if the parents will let you share that. That would be really cute.
Yeah.
To see that.
Very cool. So, and what did you do?
Quiet dinner with my brother and sister-in-law and their youngest son. And so I didn't have to do any cooking. I was mentioning I love to cook. And so I've already put in my order for cooking request for Christmas because our family has the only family dish that we have is noodles and chicken, which came from my grandmother on my mom's side. And it came from either Ireland or Germany. And it's basically a Popper's dish, because it's once a year when you could have a chicken and handmade egg noodles. And I love to make that dish. I'm the only girl in the family that makes those. So I'm looking forward to that. And I like to make homemade apple pie. So that's what I'm going to do for Christmas. That will be my contribution. And fresh whipped cream. So.
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely the whipped cream. I don't love whipped cream, but everybody else does.
Oh, I love whipped cream, but I don't do it a whole lot, but I love fresh whipped cream. Tonight, so Julie, yes, I make the noodles from scratch. So they're egg noodles. So it's, the flour and salt and eggs and lots of eggs. And so they're the homemade noodles. And then you roll them out, and then you slice them, then you dry them, and got to do it that way. So they're thick noodles. I'll show you. It's making me hungry. It's way past dinner time. Well, tonight we have a wonderful guest. Deb Floros is going to join us in a little while. And Anne and I have grabbed a couple of projects to share with you tonight. One of the things I wanted to share, how, I don't know if all of you know that Anne and I a while ago were doing the Whatnot auctions. And I was selling a lot of my laser engraved wood pieces. And so Kelly sent me an email, and I just wanted to share with you what she's been doing with them. And let me see if I can add this. And so the words are actually the pieces that I hand paint the wood first, and then I laser engrave these. So I was selling them, I don't know, I think 5, 6, 7 in a package. And so these are some pieces she made. I can't tell if they're cards or if she frames them, but I just loved these. And
They're
then, isn't that pretty? And then this one is my favorite. Let me remove this. And she really picked up the color from Amazing Grace. And this one just really speaks to me. The message of Amazing Grace, and then the colors that she used. So I don't know if Kelly's here tonight, but thank you so much for sharing what you created with my creative pieces. So pretty cool to see that.
Well, even if that is a card, you can frame it because it is stunning. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool to do that. And we were talking again earlier before we went on air. It's like, oh my gosh, it's December. Now, of course, the countdown to Christmas. So we have a couple of Christmas projects that we want to share with you tonight. Anne, do you want to do your Christmas tree ornament first?
Sure, I will do that. Everybody, I'm Ann Butler, and today we're going to create this cute Christmas tree ornament out of cinnamon sticks, greenery, fabric, and some buttons. To get started, you're going to measure out your cinnamon stick and cut it at about 3.5 to 4 inches. And you can just cut it with a scissor, like that. And then you're going to measure and cut your greenery at 3 inches, 2 inches, and 1.5 inches. And then you're going to measure your fabric at about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Give it a snip, and then you're just going to tear it. So you have those raw edges for your fabric strips. And then you're going to take your fabric strips and cut them to about 4 inches, 3 inches, and about 2.5 inches. And then you're going to take and tie a knot in the middle of each of them. If you need to trim up a little bit once you put it on the greenery, there'll be extra there for you to be able to do that. But you just tie a knot like that in all 3 pieces. Next, you're going to paint your star on both sides and let it dry. Next, we're going to pick out 3 buttons in various sizes and either use the gold thread or DMC floss to thread the button. So you'll just poke the thread through and you'll tie it off in the back. And that way the button will look like it's sewn on. And now we're ready to put this together. I'm going to apply just a little bit of glue to the back of the top part of the cinnamon stick. And I'm going to place the gold thread on there, and I'm going to wrap it around a couple times and just press that glue into it to hold it in place. And then I'm going to take about 6 to 8 inches so that I can make a nice loop hanging for the ornament. And I'm going to add just a little more glue. And wrap this round a couple more times. And that will hold in place, and then you have a nice hanger for your ornament. I'm going to trim the excess off. Now we're going to take the star and glue it to the top. Right there. And then we're going to put the greenery on here, and we're going to start with the smallest piece first. And it doesn't matter which direction the greenery is going. We're going to add just a little bit of glue on the cinnamon stick and place that, center it, and place it on there. And we're going to go down just a smidgen and add some more glue. And place that on so you can see the tree shape forming. And then we're going to put the last piece on here. Just like that. So now you have your little tree. You could just put the buttons on it, and that'd be super cute. But I like the fabric on there. So we have our 3 pieces of fabric. And again, we're going to start with the smallest one. This time I'm going to put the glue on the back where the knot is. And just set that in place. And if you want, you can trim these up a little bit to show more of the greenery. That is totally up to you. But you just do this to all 3 pieces. So there it is with the fabric on. And then we're just going to glue the buttons in place. Same thing, take the smallest button, add some glue to the back, and place it right on top of that knot. And there you have it, a cute little Christmas tree ornament. Until next time, have fun and be creative. Oops, it's a solo. So fun fact about that, that is the very first design that went of mine. I had a couple of them in the Big Book of Crafts, Aline's Big Book of Crafts. And that was one of them. Although the one that I did, I used a twig from outside, not a cinnamon stick.
Very cute.
So I've been making those forever.
Yeah. I giggled when you said there's a smidgen. So I was just looking up. It's like, what is the history of the word smidgen? Because I haven't heard anybody use that for a while. And I went, oh my gosh, I know that word. So
I aged myself.
No, that's very cute. Very cute. It's not a dot of glue. It's not a whatever. It's a smidgen.
Yep. Yep.
So it came from England. Oh, Julie's going to have to weigh in on that. So very, very cool. I love that. Which I will
put the link in there in case she wants to come in here.
And I did put it further up, but
Oh, you did? Okay.
I think it was right at the top of the show. And so my project tonight actually goes back from the first round of Cool2Craft. So this is many years ago. My hair is different. And as Julie says, yep, smidgen is very common. And so the project that I'm sharing tonight is a clip from the Cool2Craft YouTube channel. And it's how to customize your own gift wrap paper. And so I'm going to bring that up here for you.
Perfect.
Hey, Cool Crafters. Have you been wrapping presents for the holidays and find that you have about that much paper left on the gift wrap paper roll? How about creating some of your own gift wrap paper? I'd like to show you how to use craft foam letters and foam board to create your own custom stamps. Let's get started. To create your own custom word stamps, you just need a few supplies. Foam board, a craft knife, a pencil, your foam sticker letters. Now you will find these in this container in the kids craft department. And what I like to do is I sort through all of them and I put them into zip bags by letter so that it's really easy for me to find the letters that I want when I want to create each stamp. I lay out the letters onto my work surface to decide what size that I want to cut my foam board. I measure and put some guidelines onto the foam board with the ruler and the pencil. So keep in mind when you are gluing your letters down that everything is going to glue in reverse. Now it doesn't matter much with these particular letters, but it does become important if you're using some other letters that you need to make sure are not backwards when it comes time for stamping. So lay all of these out face down in order to get your spacing. I leave the sticky paper on the back because I'm gluing these face down, and I apply my foam glue to the front. And be sure that you get to all of the corners and edges because you don't want that to peel up over repeated use with your stamp. And I'm going to lay this down and keep it aligned with my pencil marks. Glue all of the letters in place. When you have all of your letters glued in place, be sure that you check to make sure everything is right side up. I noticed when I laid these down that my exclamation point was upside down. So I quickly reversed that before the glue dried. I am using white acrylic paint, and the application process is just with a roller. You can certainly use your cosmetic sponges to apply your paint. You could also use a brush if you wanted to, but I have definitely found that the roller goes on very quickly. Because we glued these face down, you want to remove that paper that's on the back of each of these letters, and it is sticky underneath, but that's not a problem. We're just going to paint right over that. Put that roller right into the paint, and I have this on a piece of wax paper so that I can be sure that it covers the entire roller, and then I just roll it right over the top. I like to put one coat of paint on and then let it dry for about 10 minutes. And that coat then is going to cover any of the stickiness that I have on these letters. I'm ready to apply my second coat of paint. You want to be sure to get all of the edges of those letters, wipe off any extra, and I have marked off my paper so that I can line these up. I would normally start right at the edge, but I want you to see where I am stamping here. And just press this down and pick it up and keep repeating my design. Once you get started stamping, it's really fun to stamp up large sheets of paper. If you don't have enough time to do that, you can just stamp one message right in the corner. Or if you'd like to, you can stamp right onto your ribbon. There's a lot of different ways that you can customize your gift wrap for the holidays. I'm Tiffany Windsor, and I think it's cool to craft for the ho 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 holidays. Merry Christmas.
Very cool.
It's fun. It's fun to go back and see that project. And I love making custom paper like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's so much fun because who doesn't have the inexpensive brown craft paper in their studio?
Well, that's showing up in a lot of wrapping in boxes for packing these days. So you can actually iron that out and use it. So anyway, I wanted to share that tonight. And Laura Lee, I see she put in there that wonderful issue of Bella magazine.
Yes,
We know that Anne works so hard on getting those issues out. So it's exciting to get the link last week.
Yeah, and Julie says to use the paper bags.
Paper bags.
Now, recycle those. Yep.
Right. Well, and it's, I don't know, for me, it's harder to find paper bags. At stores, it's always plastic, but absolutely. But I did find when I was working on some burnt brown bag projects for some Aline's projects I did a few months ago, I went into Trader Joe's and they had a whole collection of bags where the handles had pulled off.
Oh.
They put under their register. So if you go in there, if you have one close to you, they will give you paper bags that don't have the handles. So it's pretty cool.
That is. I do not have one near me at all. I think I've been in one once.
Yeah, and you probably could go into other stores where they have the same issue, but that was my source for getting bags. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So I think it's time for us to welcome our special guest tonight. So let me just add Deb to the stage here. Hey, Deb, good to see you tonight.
Hello. That was fun. You haven't changed a bit, Tiffany.
Yeah. When you go through the years, you'll just see that my hairstyle's different. I have like a dozen different hairstyles, but thank you. And I think that video was 2013. So time flies when you're having crafting fun.
Yes.
It does.
So you had a good Thanksgiving holiday.
I did. Yeah. Very quiet, nice and relaxing. Ready for the next one.
Well, good. Well, we're going to hop off here and we're just going to let you go full screen, and you know the routine, and we can't wait to see what you have in store tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Deb Floros. I am a jewelry designer. I'm a jewelry making educator, and I'm a cool crafter. I've been really focused on these PJ parties with repurposing, upcycling, taking old jewelry and creating something new with it. And I thought I would share just some things that I've made, and then also give you some insight into how you can design with something that maybe you got at a yard sale, an estate sale, a garage sale, and give you some inspiration on how you can upcycle and recycle and reuse a previously loved necklace. So I'm going to flip my camera down, and I'm going to turn off the camera for a second so I don't make everybody horribly dizzy. And I'm going to show, first of all, some fun things that I've done with necklaces. So I've got, let me get my camera in a good spot here. So I've got a few things here that I designed. So first I want to show you this because this is one of my pride and joy pieces. So this necklace, this elephant, was from a pretty high-end costume necklace. I think that was like circa 1970s, I think. And when I picked this up, being an elephant fanatic, I thought, I'm going to wear this myself. I'm going to make this a cool statement piece. And so I had this other like costume necklace that had this kind of lacy metal. and it was all black. And I came in with some gilder's paste and brought in some gold so that it would match up to the gold in my elephant. And isn't he just the coolest? And this necklace had some gold or some black chain attached to it already. So really, I made two necklaces into one. And I know this probably isn't for everybody, but this is a fun, cool kind of thing that I would wear like for probably a special occasion, like, in a situation where I just want to make a wow entrance, like, wow, look at my necklace. So this is just one fun way that I worked with some, previously loved necklaces. Now, this piece is intended to look very rustic and cool. So this is a mesh bow, and you see it's got some wear to it. This was a pin at one point, and I took it, and because it had these, obvious holes or, void space in the bow area, I found this kind of similarly rustic chain. So this is, just a really old costume chain, which has just some really cool texture. And I just slid it on, and it creates this little loop at the bottom. And it's just interesting and different and has that kind of very vintage vibe. So, if you find something that's got a little bit of damage, don't cast it aside, because maybe it's something that you can create with intention. Like, I'm intentionally creating this very rustic, very vintage, very weathered kind of piece. So that's something that I did. And then this piece is kind of fun. So this is part of a necklace, and you may have seen in a previous episode, I used sliders. And sliders are typically like a 4-hole kind of piece that maybe came from a bracelet. This one actually came from a necklace. It's got 4 connection points. I just want to show you kind of what the necklace sort of looked like. So this is part of it. It was kind of an ombre thing, and it's got all of this articulation. And then this little corner piece was attached to the piece here. So it kind of was all sparkly in different colors. And I loved the look of these sparkly pieces. And I thought, I probably won't wear that, but I would wear just one part of it. Now, the way that this hangs is a little bit, it's a little bit askew because the necklace kind of curved. But I think that's part of what makes this interesting, sort of avant-garde. And so I used this tiny chain and attached it to the 2 loops at the top of this piece. And then I took a piece of chain and I took a beautiful vintage like fire polish bead in a shade of purple that is complementary to this piece. This is kind of purple and blue. And I hung that down from the bottom. So this is very, it looks like it's sort of floating a little bit because of the simplicity and size of this chain. So I thought that was interesting. Just another way that you can take a piece of something that you like, and you don't necessarily want to cast it aside. This one I just made this week, and I was inspired by the holidays. These red beads are all vintage check glass beads. And I found this necklace, and I've got it in parts now. So this is lovely. It's just a pretty little, almost like a little picot shape or like a little bow shape, or I'm not sure what these were intended to be necessarily, but they are rhinestone pieces that are all connected together. A very lovely piece. I probably could have worn this. That's where I always struggle is, am I going to wear it? Am I going to cut it up? What am I going to do with it? And I took a piece of it and I beaded this necklace. So I took two different sizes of these gorgeous, just juicy red glass beads, vintage check glass beads. And I took a section of the necklace and attached it to the stringing wire. And I've got some little flat seed beads in here that are called demi rounds. And I used silver and gold because this piece really is kind of gold and silver with that yellowish kind of rhinestone and then more of that clear rhinestone. So I thought a mixed metal spacer looked really cool. So this is fun, just taking a piece of a necklace. And I've got plenty of other pieces. In fact, I intend to make some earrings with two more of those little pieces. And maybe I'll show those off next time we get together. They're just little fun, little connectors. So there's so many possibilities. Maybe you don't want to wear a whole necklace of those little rhinestone pieces, but maybe a pair of earrings, maybe just a section of, of the chain necklace for something else. Now, just to give you some other ideas, if you pick up things like this at a yard sale, an estate sale, these are just some old glass pearls. Some of them are a little shabby chic. These are actually really nice. I don't know if I'm going to cut that up. We'll see. But, these are just some things that you can take then and, use for a piece and then find a pendant or something else from another piece. I also had this pretty one that I thought was kind of fun. And these are all little connected pieces. And this would also be similar to the red one where you could take a section of it and just attach it to, a beaded necklace, and you would have something colorful and fun to work with. So when you're out and about, if you want to create something from something else, there's lots of jewelry to be had out there that, would be nice to bring home and, not have to send it to the landfill, not have to worry about, bringing that piece in, into a drawer and not having it come out again. So I bet a lot of you have a necklace that looks like this. This statement vibe was really popular a while back. And I loved the statement necklace era. That was, to me, a really fun time. I love a great statement necklace, obviously with that elephant piece. I dig statement necklaces. But nowadays, I don't know that people will wear them as often. And maybe you really like a piece of this necklace. So this necklace to me has lots of great parts. So I was thinking, what if you want just rather than the big pendant, maybe you just want to take one of the small pendants and make it a little bit more of a subdued necklace. Now, I don't know. I don't do subdued very well. My jewelry is typically a little more wild and crazy. So I'm going to open up this necklace and I'm going to take this guy apart. And I can tell you all you need typically for taking something apart is just, a pair of pliers. And in this case, I'm just going to slide this guy off. And it's just a pretty little pendant. Now, this is acrylic. These are acrylic pieces. The tube here is metal. And the setting is metal. But everything else is acrylic, but it looks nice. I mean, it's still a nice pendant, still a nice vibe. So I thought I would show you. Now, I don't know if we're going to have time to really put the whole thing together today, but I wanted to show you some of what I was thinking about when I thought, let's make this into something else. So I have these really fun lava beads. Some of you may have seen lava beads before, but they're in this cross shape, which I love. So they have like a porous surface on them. You could use essential oils on them if you want, and you have a little bit of that aromatherapy going when you wear it. I pulled some of those out. I also pulled out these fun glass beads, and they are, sort of a turquoise vibe, but, a much more, a much more faux turquoise. But these have like a stripy look to them, a stripy vibe. They've got some yellow in them. So they're really fun. And I thought because this had some color in it, it would be fun to combine those. I've also got some metal beads that I pulled out. So these are kind of like a little saucer, like a little spaceship kind of thing. And then I thought, because there's some white in the pendant, these white beads with kind of a gold wash on them, they're check glass. I thought they might be interesting. And then I've got these little check glass discs that are kind of a bronzy tone. And then last but not least, some 11O seed beads, which I like to use for spacers. And I'm using the Toho brand. This is the color Antique Bronze. So I just want to show you just a little bit of this. If we put this whole thing together, I'll put everyone to sleep. And I know that some of these kinds of projects can be a little bit longer. But I thought I would show you. I will post the finished project in the group when I'm finished. So when I work on something like this and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to make or how it's going to come together, I usually start from the center. And one thing I like to have on hand is a lot of cool metal beads, because you never know when you need something to fit right into your pendant component. You never know when you're going to need something that's just going to fit just right. And if you've got a lot of metal and spacer type beads, you'll find that you're probably going to have a use for them. Now, I'm going to take one of these little disc beads, and then I'm going to take a couple of seed beads. And I'm not really giving myself a lot of room to work here. So let me put this here, move this just a little bit and pop this down just a little bit. And I think I'm going to pull in one of these gold wash white beads, and then give myself another couple of seed beads. I like to do seed beads for spacers because they add some interesting dimension to a piece. So I think in this case, adding a little bit of a seed bead dimension is nice. Now here I've got this blue bead, this sort of multicolored bead that's going to bring in some of the multicolor that is happening at that focal. Now, if you don't want to utilize something that colorful because you've already got some color there, you can simply go for more of the neutral tone and start to bring in this this cross bead, this cool bead. So this is one approach to take. Let me show you, if we were to go with, I'm pulling that out. What if we were to go with this bigger piece? So I feel like these beads are a better proportion for this piece. And I think I want to use these. So I'm not going to go more subtle. I'm going to go big or go home here. Now, what's cool about this piece is it's got this, this same large hole because it was going over chain, but it gives you lots of possibilities to add beads in between. So as you're finding these fun, components, these fun necklaces, look at them with like an eye for possibilities. Like, what could I do that's fun and interesting with this component? And I'm just going to show you really quick how I might put this together. And I think this bead fits pretty nicely in that spot. So I'm going to go through the middle section. And if I were like spending more time doing this tonight, I would put seed beads onto my wire, even though they're going to be hidden, because it adds a little bit of stability in that, in that center point. It just makes it a little bit more finished, especially if somebody were to see it from the side or from behind. If there's some seed beads on there, it would just kind of add a little bit more of a finished look. And you know what? I can pop a few of those on. I think we can put a few on, and you can see kind of the difference of what that might look like. Seed beads kind of, for me, are pretty magical. They do a lot of cool things. So you don't always have to use seed beads for bead weaving. So if you know about jewelry making and know about all of those beautiful seed beaded pieces that folks make, you may think, oh, I have to use them that way. So see, if you've got an open space like that and you add the seed beads, now you've got a little bit of a decorative kind of look in that empty spot back there versus just the bare wire. So then I'm going to take another one of these white beads, and I'm going to go through that next spot. And now that is really fun and interesting. And I think what I'm going to do here is I am going to continue with the seed beads on the other side. And I'm going to add 3 because we're going to at least have one that will be covered up. It'll be covered up in part because it's got that little loop of metal there. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to add one of those metal beads. I'm going to take a couple of the seed beads again. And I think I'm going to try, oh, you know what? I'm going to do one more white bead. And then I'm going to add these cool cross beads. And I'm just trying to give this kind of another statement look, but a different statement look than what we started with. So I'm going to nix the blue because I think the blue doesn't quite go back to the blue that's in the pendant here. But there is a little bit of kind of a marigold color in here. And some of these have a little bit of marigold in them. So if you had something like this, you could drop a couple of them on. Let's just see what that looks like. The ones with the marigold can be maybe a little more interesting than just the blue tones. So maybe that works. Maybe gives us a little bit more pizzazz up towards the top if we're going to go with these more neutral tones, these neutral crosses and the neutral check glass beads. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to finish up tonight, but just to give you that perspective of you grab a necklace and there's so many possibilities of things that you can do. Lots of pieces and parts that you can use and lots of different options. And then if you grab some beads, then you can start playing with possibilities of creating a beaded piece, or if you've got some chain. So in this case, in this guy, I had this little baby kind of dark metal, like a gunmetal chain. In this case, I had this old vintagey necklace. This chain necklace, this flat necklace. So grab a necklace and sit down and just start to come up with ways to use it in a way that you think you might wear it. So maybe you wouldn't wear this big piece with all three of these components, but maybe one of them and some other things, some beads, some chain. And if you wanted to, you could just bring the chain back into the equation and just string this right back on, taking these off. So it's still a big pendant, but maybe it's just not as dramatic as it was with the other two pieces on it. So that's some ideas for you for taking necklaces, repurposing necklaces. I think I know how I'm going to proceed with this one. So I'll have to make it a surprise and put it into the group so all of you guys can see the finished project. So ladies, I'm going to flip my camera back up.
Okay, I love that. We're going to go this way, though. I love seeing all that old jewelry. I mean, let me see. Up there, I have jars and jars in tins filled with jewelry pieces. I love it.
It always amazes me, the jewelry you find. It's stunning.
I've found stuff, I mean, I've collected it for years, and actually amazingly, like this piece that I'm working with tonight, I just got in a box of goodies that I just purchased maybe, I don't know, a week or so ago. I can't stop. Like, I see these things and I see the possibilities of what you can do with them. And there's just something challenging about taking something that looks a certain way and saying, I'm going to do something different with you.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Very cool to customize that way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go looking for the link to our Facebook group so I can put that into the chat. I see Lenine is here. So Deb's stay on camera, and we're going to bring Lenine in.
I'll bring Lenine in. And I know Julie said she had a project she wanted to share too.
Okay.
Hi, Lenine.
Hi, sorry I'm so late.
No, you're fine.
Tiffany, I just couldn't believe when I saw this. Do you have this book?
I think I do. If I don't, I know my sister does.
But anyway, I was on Whatnot, and it came up,
Okay.
and I had to buy it.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. That's so great. We did definitely did a lot of books through Oxmoor House in the Aleen's era.
So this is a card with Eileen Hull's new die set.
Oh, that is beautiful.
The poinsettias aren't, but the window and the animals, the trees, and all of that are Eileen's. And it's
The gold is stunning.
Thank you.
So
But isn't that
pretty.
gorgeous? There's a little squirrel down here. Bunny.
It's in the details always, right?
Yep, and this one was done for Craft Roulette. And one other one, this one is this week's Craft Roulette.
Oh, cute.
And we had to do map folds. It had to have folded like a map. So this is a map, and it's pleated. It's a pleated card. The paper is
Nice.
pleated.
Ooh, that's neat.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I have to share today.
So much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So I have more with Eileen's die set that's in my class coming up, but I don't have it here at the house right now. So I'll have to be showing that later.
Okay.
But I got to put it in Eileen's Facebook group because she's not here today. I see she's not around.
I'll grab it.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Oh, and it is Cool to Craft.
I love it.
Thank you. We love you.
Thank you, Lenine. I think Laura Lee came in. Okay, I'm going to bring her in, and I'll grab Eileen's link. Hi, Laura Lee.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm sorry my internet's being a little slow. I hope you can hear me clear enough.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I am finishing up Christmas cards. There's so much, to do right now with that. But this year joined several card exchanges. So this is my Stampin' Up exchange I'm doing with some of my friends. So I made 10 of this card, and I love that sled. And it's kind of a simple fun fold, really. It was very easy to make because you're just scoring along here. And then what's nice about that is it can stand up. And then on the back here, I'm just going to have my little message. But just a fun piece. I like things this time of year that you can display on the mantle. And I feel like with batch card making, it's always a good lesson for me in being more efficient with how I make stuff. So you kind of get in a flow with things, and you kind of notice little differences. You can pick little different paper, different color accents, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that takes time and getting all those ready to mail. So I've got that I've been doing. But one project that I am completely finished with is this was such a fun class from Scrapbook and Cards Today. I don't know if any of you follow Megan Andrews, but she is so talented. And this is a tag book. I've got to actually put my keyring on it, and then I'm going to kind of like tie some ribbons to it. But it's kind of a more casual version of the December Daily, where it's not the pressure to get every single day, but you have it ready to go. And it's not quite all 25 days, but you can put pictures in where you want to, journaling. And it was kind of about combining stenciling, pattern paper, ephemera, and also kind of some of those old school techniques that I feel like we've forgotten about with the invention of the MISTI. You know, everybody uses the MISTI now, but sometimes you just want to hand stamp and have that homemade look, because here I'm layering just by hand different colors, and I've got like the lighter pink with the red outline, cranberry outline from Catherine Pooler, and on this one, this is actually going to be a little pocket, so like when we go to the Nutcracker or something, I'll put my little ticket right there. And it's just fun to flip through. I like having things like that I can set out on our coffee table and everybody can enjoy looking at it. It's like accessible. Sometimes when you have your scrapbook album out, it's just people who come over at the holidays, they're probably not going to pick that up and open it. But something like this that's fun, that maybe you're going to have a bunch of ribbons and a bunch of sparkle, everybody is like, oh, I want to look through that. And it's just, yeah, I loved the style. This kind of shabby chic return to Christmas. So I don't always buy a complete collection or a complete class, but yeah, this was a really good one. So that's mostly what I've been doing. I've been trying to do a mix of, you know, getting my Christmas cards out for people, because that is really important to us, but then also making keepsakes for us, because that's important too, to focus on the positive and journal all your memories. Even if you're just at home with Coco or whatever, take a picture of decorating your tree, because when you look back on that stuff, it's special. So that's all I've got.
Awesome.
I love that. I agree 100%. That's why I never scrapbooked, because it's too much work to put into a book nobody's ever going to open.
Right.
Yeah. And I am kind of the next step on this, when I have it all tied up, is I'm noticing this trend of people take like square wooden boxes. You can do reclaimed things. You can do cigar boxes, and you put whatever size tag book, because you could do this any size. You could go smaller. I don't know how much bigger you could go. These are some of the biggest tag dies I've seen. So it's just kind of turning them too into home decor pieces, not just something that sits there, you know. And that's kind of the thing with paper crafting. That's what I like with Lisa. She makes the home decor stuff, because you want the stuff to be seen by people, not just in a drawer.
Right. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. It's been a great show, and I love the magazine. Like I said, it was beautiful. I got to make some of that stuff next.
Thank you, and I love your studio.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I want to wrap these cabinets like a present, but I did get these little. That's something else I made too. I'll just show you real quick. This is actually tag dies, and isn't that fun? I don't know if you can see, but you do the opposite of a tag,
cute.
because I used my little hole punch, and then you've got the brad right here, and they also fold up. So if you want to mail them, they'll kind of fold flat. And I just put gems to cover the hole from the tag. I got that idea from it's a show on Facebook that's like once a month, and they do one of a kind stamping, and they bring in different brands, and they've always got kind of fun ideas like that.
That is so cute. I love that.
Very cool.
Yeah, you gotta
Clever
decorate your
idea.
craft room, have a little pizzazz.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish I could fit a Christmas tree in here, though. Do you guys decorate your craft room?
I have a little tree over there.
No. Is
Yeah,
it like a
little-
Charlie Brown
Very,
tree?
very little.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, guys. Well, I hope that, are you guys going to come back before Christmas, or are you taking a break? I forget.
We'll be here next week and the next week.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I'll be here
two
next
more
week too,
weeks, and then
probably.
we'll break till after the first of the year.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's good to see everybody.
You
Take
too.
care. You had mentioned that Julie might be popping in before we wrap up tonight.
She showed me something today that she was going to share, but I don't see her in here right now. So
Right.
Julie,
We may
here.
have lost her. So
Yeah. So
if any,
I'll
if
have her show
anyone,
next week.
if anyone joined us late tonight, earlier on the show, and shared how to create a Christmas tree ornament using a cinnamon stick and some fabric scraps and some greenery and buttons, and that was really cute. So you have to go back and watch that. I shared a video I did back in 2013 of how to make some custom holiday gift wrap paper. And so go back and take a look at that. You can watch the rerun, of course, on our YouTube channel. I will pull out, as I always do, Deb's demo from tonight. So you can watch the whole show, or you can just go back and watch Deb's cool jewelry project.
Thanks.
Yes. Thank you
Right.
so much, Deb. We love everything you do.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
thank you for having me. This is such a fun group. Love you
Yeah,
guys.
and Deb's actually going to be traveling, but she's going to be back here in a couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
she's going to take us out for the holiday, end of year holidays. So, here's Julie.
There's Julie.
Gonna
First, I
hop
want to say Deb is going to London tomorrow. So she came today and
I
she's
know.
leaving tomorrow.
I know. And I told her we want to report in 2 weeks. We want photos. We want to,
Yeah.
because she's going to the holiday markets. And so we want to report.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I'm going to get the skinny on what everybody's doing craft wise in London. So I'm going to
Love it.
snap some pics and maybe take some little video and see what I can find out about what they're doing over there on the other side of the pond.
Perfect. Perfect. We look forward to that. Hey, Julie.
Hey there. Yeah, if you want to know what's going on in England, you just need to watch the Hobbycraft show. It's on every
Apparently
day.
so.
Crafts is, we always do it, so it's different, it's special. But when you go to London, the best things are all the decorations in the streets, and go to Harrods and have afternoon tea and scones and stuff like that. So, but that's it's just, Christmas is wonderful, but it's all the decorations. We don't decorate the houses and outside the houses like you do here. I do. I've been working on mine. I finished it up today, so. But anyway, I've got Christmas all over my house. It's just not organized yet. But I did come up with this little guy. I was showing Anne earlier. I don't know if you can see. It's a little gnome. So my dishwasher flooded on the kitchen floor. So I was using a mop, and it reminded me about this little project, because all it is a reusable mop head from the Dollar Tree. And obviously there's a bead here. And then for the hat, it's a sock and a cup. You pull the sock over the cup. And of course you get a pair of socks, so you can make two gnomes. Let me pull it back again. And it's elasticated around the top. And so we've got the replacement dish mop, and we put the hat on top. And there we go. We have our little gnome.
What's he standing on? What's he on?
Well, he's standing. I found this tube with plastic on the bottom to save everything, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, so I found this. So he's standing on that. And I actually need to glue this to probably like an old cardboard coaster or something like that. because he does kind of fall over easily. But then I got to thinking we can also use like an empty soda bottle, like
Oh, yeah.
Pepsi or something like that, cut the top off and just stick him over the top. And if I put him on the table, you can't really see him. But he's very quick and easy.
So
I mean,
cute.
it takes like 1 minute and it's done.
That's what I
love it.
did.
Easy peasy.
The grandkids that were here that stayed after Thanksgiving, we always make something for their other grandparents and their uncle.
Uh-huh.
That would have been way quicker than what we
That
did.
is really quick. And it's
so
very
cool.
inexpensive, very economical.
Yeah, I love it.
So anyway, of course, the socks and this, they're not $1 anymore, but whatever. It's
They're
still,
not even $1.25 anymore.
yeah,
I mean, things
yeah,
are now
no, they've even higher.
$5. Yeah.
So anyway, but I love making stuff and using stuff that I have, use it up, whatever. So, but Deb, on the upcycling old pieces of jewelry, I've always used to wear watches. And so I used the watch face and made like a silver chain tassel on it and made a watch face tassel pendant necklace.
I love that.
A long time ago. But it was really cute. I mean, there's so many things. I keep everything too. And I've got my mom's stuff too. So it's always fun.
Yeah. I love making stuff with watches and watch bands. Maybe we could do a collab and we could do some watch stuff together. That would be fun.
Yeah, and everybody could watch it, right?
Yes.
We'd have
watch us make stuff with watches.
We'll have to set a special time to do it for people to watch.
Yes, Lenine, the socks were from the dollar store also.
Very cool. Well, you are all getting me in the holiday spirit here. So
Yeah, we really are. Not much spirit going around here yet, though. But it's been it's been a different day.
I think we're still suggesting to going, wait a minute, November's gone. This is December.
It
so
is.
It's that crossover where we're kind of going, oh yeah, we need to start thinking about Christmas and New Year's. So
I
very
know, but
cool.
so many people have already decorated. They've got trees up, and I start the day after Thanksgiving. I like fall and I like Thanksgiving, and I really enjoy it. So I did start the day after Thanksgiving. The weather was actually warm. Yesterday it was like 25 degrees with the wind chill.
Yeah.
And but today it was warm again, so I got the last of the lights up. So I'm decorated outside. Now I get to work on the inside. Cool. And the tree goes up last, and everything stays up till 12th night, which is January the 6th, which is when the three kings visited. And of course, this past Sunday was the first Sunday in Advent. So you have the wreath with the 4 candles.
Perfect.
I don't think that's very popular here, or not many people do it, but we do in Europe.
Yeah. So cool. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to wrap up tonight's show that was filled with lots of great ideas. And thank you to our friends, our creative friends who come on and share what they're creating also that are in the chat. So we're going to wrap up and say goodnight to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good night.
Thanks for coming. We will be back next week.
Okay.